If the Body Music Man is not on your radio isn't really on. Yeah. One, two, 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Sam, the Body Music Man. It's going down. Once again, it's DJ Sam, the Body Music Man. It's going down from that podcast, The Morning Show. It's a house music thing that's up top, down bottom, a little bit in between. Place to be, in fact, where you're at right now. Taking the time to welcome you, all boys and all girls. Can I say that? All boys and girls? How about everybody in this motherfucker? I want you to take a moment and put your hands together because we got something special going on. It's DJ Sam, the Body Music Man. It's going down with the official first episode of the podcast, How It Went Down. We got something special for you. We got somebody in the studio. Definitely, we got some information that's ahead of its time. Place to be, in fact, where you're at. We have the one and only Khizzy Neutron is in the building. Place to be right now. The first initial showing of How It Went Down. Also featuring my partner in crime, Sam 300 is in the building. Hey, Sam.
Yeah, we got Sam 300 in effect tonight.
All right. But take a listen to this.
Always betting on black, they gon' think I'm racist. I don't need to sugarcoat it, I'ma make it blatant. Hot dog, we can't kick it if you moving lazy. And if you don't like your fate, then you gotta change it. Oh no, you should put this track on every playlist. Holla at me for the candles, I got every fragrance. Good lord, I'ma bring it down to the basics. I don't drink, but if I see a shot, I'm gonna chase it. Look, gotta go through beef to get the cream I need in Mayfield.
Yeah, bringing that heat, DJ Sam, the Body Music Man. You might have been hearing it first right here. It's the initial. It's the first broadcast of that new podcast, How It Went Down. And again, Sam 300 is my co-host with the most. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to take the time to introduce a gentleman that you're hearing about right now, but you're going to be hearing about for the rest of your life. Mr. Khizzy Neutron, welcome to the place. All right,
yes,
it's
sir,
a beautiful
yes,
thing. Beautiful thing. I'm going to turn it over to Sam 300 because he's got some information. I might be the older guy, but I'm the youngster in this music thing right here. Take it over, Sam.
Man. All right, we got very special guests, like we just said. We got Khizzy Neutron in the building. Man, and I've been hearing a lot about you. I really been hearing, like, I've really been hearing a lot about you and a lot about what you do. So we got you in the building. You produce. That's one.
Correct.
You compose. And I want to say compose and produce both in like giving them their own lights because you know it on the end of, beat making and creating your instrumentals, but you can really take it a step further and get really into the nitty gritty of making a real soundscape, a real orchestration. So definitely want to give you your props on that, for sure. Giving you the props on that. And you're an artist. You're an artist. You rap.
Correct.
You say you rap on the side, but the bars you be dropping is like, I was like, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. We're on the side.
And Sam, you got to say that again. He's a what?
He is a producer, composer, and artist. Overall rounded artist. So it's very, very special to have you in here. And on top of that, you also engineer some of your music.
Yes.
Yo, it's a lot. It's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on.
So tell us, well, first, let's start off with your alias. I want to start off with your alias, why they call you what they call you. So your industry alias is Khizzy Neutron.
I want to know.
Yeah, where did that come?
Yeah, so this is back when I was a freshman in college. My girlfriend at the time, she had a friend who was actually a big 2 Chainz fan. 2 Chainz had his like college park slang, like Isnai and things like that. So my name is Carl with a KH. So she would always call me Khizzy. And then after a while, it was just a mouthful after a while. So she had shortened it to Kiz as a term of endearment. And then initially got pushed back out to Khizzy. Now, both of my uncles, I was kind of well known at a young age for like my intelligence. So I would either be called Jimmy Neutron or Dexter's Lab. And even though Dexter kind of set the tone in the late 90s for what kind of like that whole science kid trope, it was, for me, I felt more, I resonated more with Jimmy's culture like later on, you know, because he was also a trendsetter with being like the first like fully CGI cartoon for Nickelodeon, and just kind of taking that and running with it a bit further. So I just combined the two, Khizzy Neutron.
Wow, man. I just knew it came from the cartoon, bro.
Of course.
Like,
Is
it
really,
are you really that sciencey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Science is my favorite subject. As many science classes as I could in school: biology, physics,
Really?
anatomy. You'll even hear it in the bars. Like, I love animals, like zoology, botany, like all that stuff, man. It's so fun to me.
Oh man, that's dope. And it's it's good to hear brothers speak about it, and for it not to be a thing that you have to keep in the background or hide from, because people think, oh, it's not cool to be this and that. It's not cool to be stupid and broke.
I was about to say,
You know what I'm saying?
Especially in this time right now, people have woken up a little bit more and been like, that dumb stuff. Yeah, leave that back there.
You know, there's, and I don't want to say this to be disrespectful, but just like in any field, any career path, and understand, you know, there's people in the music that it's a gift. You know, people get away from people having gifts because there's so many studio mules and studio clowns, because the right engineer can make anybody sound good.
Yeah.
But the reality is you could do all that shit in the background, but can you get on stage? Can you perform that? Can you talk about what that is? Where did it come from? Or did somebody just decide, okay, we're going to write this song, we're going to get these beats, we're going to put all this shit together, and we're going to copyright this, and we're going to fucking take your image for the rest of your life and make some money until you can't do it no more.
Right.
You know, the industry machine is a real thing, you know, but to run into brothers, young brothers that have experience, that have a gift, that have musicality, can play instruments, can compose, can put their feelings down on the track. I'm old school. I've been around, and I've seen motherfuckers that had talent and people had no talent and became famous for nothing. You know, but this music industry is missing something. It's missing people with talent. So when I get to run across people who I see have talent, it blows my mind, and I just want to be an encouraging part of that. And I promise, as a DJ, I won't even charge you to play your song. Because, I mean, back in the day now, shit, you want that shit in rotation. Not that I did that. I didn't do that. I knew people who did it. No diddy. But, again, you know, it's a pleasure for me to sit across from and I'm going to say two young men who have something to say, and they're putting it together. And it's like, I have an old saying, you know, DJ Sam The BodyMusic Man, giving you the soundtrack to your life. I couldn't do that if it wasn't like for cats like you. You know?
We all appreciate the props. Yeah. But man, you know, that was real. not for real. That was really real. But getting back more into you, where are you from?
It's a Georgia, born and raised. Outside Atlanta, Clayco.
So, oh man,
I'll show you the power of God.
Clayco, baby. Yeah, you in them trenches.
Yo, man, there's been some famous folks come out of Clayco.
Yeah, oh yeah, man.
A lot of Trinidad James, Waka Flocka.
You know, and then I mean, yeah, I mean we could run the list. There's a lot of talent came out of Clayco. Them people in Cobb County scared to fucking come to Clayton County. I don't know why. This is where the talent is, but yeah, let me shut up. Man. You guys get ahead.
Yeah, man. So I feel like with you being, you being where you are and you doing what you do in the field, both being in somewhere where they don't really expect you to be at, as a black man. What are some of your struggles that you go through in the music industry, like as you're navigating through to get to where you're going, that you feel like that you've been encountering?
So I think a lot of it is vanity metrics. I spend a lot of time just honing the craft and kind of like doing what I can to navigate like the social media landscape, the content creation.
Right.
And a lot of time was for that social proof. That's just what they expect from you. I have like less than 1,000 followers on all my accounts, and when you're trying to get your foot in the door, people don't take you seriously unless you see them numbers. They don't look at what you've actually produced. It's like, okay, well, I can't take you serious because you're not verified, or you have less than 5,000, or you don't get no plays. You got 7 monthly listeners. And even more than that, the internet accelerates and speeds up everything.
Right.
So it's like, even just like my age, like I'll be 29 next month. So like a lot of people would have called me a has-been by now. So they ignore people like 2 Chainz or DaBaby, or people like Griselda who made it way later, and they still kind of hold on to that ideology despite the outliers.
Yeah, man, it's a weird agenda out there, like trying to push cram all the music industry into just your younger years, like all that you can do in terms of music just in those younger years, when in reality, that was just a step. Like you have to go through that and go through those years with the head on your shoulder to make the right moves in the music scene, to get to the later years where it's like, all right, now I already did the groundwork in terms of, maybe it's rapping, maybe it's producing, maybe it's engineering. You need that experience. You need that in those years to get that experience to where you're older now and you can make better moves. So it's like for people to say, all right, or you're getting older. Yeah, you're a has-been now. You're a bit washed up. Like that couldn't be anything further from the truth. Maybe that's true for people who just want to get in here and play on the computer, play on a few instruments. But for real artists, it's not over till it's over, right? So another thing I want to ask you is, really, what made you do it? Like, what made you get into this? Like, because it's the field out here.
It's the jungle.
It don't matter if you go to the music industry, getting in those waters, or just the music community trying to just put together a community, or build a better community for the music scene. Like it's always a lot going on. So what made you want to join? What made you want to produce? What made you want to rap?
It's definitely a couple ways to answer that. I think that one such way was just, I think as far as I can remember before anything else, like I was a word nerd, I grew up reading the dictionary. I just like, a pet peeve of mine was I didn't like not understanding what people were saying to me.
The body.
So
right.
You got like big words. It's
If.
onomatopoeia, philanthropy.
Radio.
Like,
How.
and even like just like higher caliber words, it would frustrate me. So I remember I was younger. I would sit in front of a TV, turn on the closed captions or the subtitles, and just every time I saw what I didn't know, nope. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Well, when I could pause at the time, I knew we had DBR after a while, but as I would see the word, don't know what that means. Flip, find it, got it. Okay.
If.
And then I
Radio. Isn't
for
really.
a long time. Like I wasn't watching TV all day, but when I
Show you the power of
just watch
God.
other shows. Okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean?
How did you use
They
that?
had like some byproducts. I was a spelling bee champion all through my younger years. I went to with the county, district, and place well there. But that was just kind of like a byproduct. Like I wasn't trying to when you're just looking at the dictionary, you see the
Right.
word over and over again.
Yeah.
You just kind of having to remember how it's spelled, like from looking at it and looking at all the definitions and everything. And that even transcended like boundaries and stuff. Like when it wasn't English, if it was Spanish or something else. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't know what that means.
You know, I didn't mean to cut you off like that, but
Mhm.
you know, sitting across from you, you know, this time since we've been putting this together, you know, we laughing and joking. Then I'm listening to you speak different languages, and I'm saying to myself,
Yo, he just pulled that out of nowhere. And like, yo, people don't even realize what he doing. I'm like, yo,
yeah,
you know who you in the room with right now?
I'm like, okay, you know, you talking to somebody. I took Spanish for 5 years when I was in high school for 4, and didn't pass it. I did it to meet girls, and it did work, but
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
but now it's like, man, if I would have paid attention. But that is something to be proud of. I mean, that is super. You know, it gives you an opportunity to transcend cultures. That's big. You know, when you get to be my age, you thinking about all the shit you didn't do. At your age, do it.
Right.
You're doing it, and that is impressive. You know, I tip my hat off to you, but I don't want my scarf to come off.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yo, I'm listening to you. I'm like, are you telling me you started a villain's revenge arc on words, like off of words?
Essentially.
Yeah, you know, Eminem was the same way. Like I read into how he got acclimated, you know, with his, you know, his skills, and it was essentially wordsmithing based off of that. So you really out here a real wordsmith.
Right. Which is funny because I think he did it like he was rapping. He did it to like with intention. I just didn't like that communication disconnect. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's before, like I was like, this is single digits. I was doing this. I didn't start making music until I was 21 officially. But it slowly just kind of like built with that relationship with words, across language boundaries, definitions after the spelling bees and stuff. I grew up in the church, you know what I'm saying? So like I eventually I was winning speech and oratorical contests over time, getting my public speaking skills up, doing spoken words over time. And it wasn't up until I went to Georgia State that I guess just being downtown Atlanta, I guess like the bug just got on me. People I'm never really at a loss for words. And I started rapping. I was like, okay, I already know these words. Let me just pick the ones that rhyme, you know? Just change it from prose to poetry. And then within months of that, like I tried the whole YouTube type beat searching thing, and I didn't like what I was hearing. There were a couple I picked here and there for like my first project, and after that I was like, okay, cool. Let me try my hand at this. I can make better stuff and not have to pay money for something that I feel like I will eventually be able to do better.
Right. Yeah, man. It's like that whole YouTube beats spear is dog. To me it's sad.
Yeah.
It's so manufactured and processed. It's like these people are making money off of the laziest beats sometimes. It's like all that's in there will be a kick, an 808, some loop they took off a splice, and they found another loop they took off a splice.
Right.
We go from the hook to the verse to the hook, and that's it.
Right.
It's like, yo, and it also makes you think like the whole scene around how music has gotten shorter. I feel like these YouTube beats that we have.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at it like this. I mean, we're living in a time where people become famous for nothing.
Yeah.
And the people who are actually artists who are not seeking the fame, if you're good at what you do and you love what you do, it'll all come.
Right.
You know, it's just a matter of can you wait for it. You know, you just keep going on. But then you have these people who go viral and for nothing. And it kind of just is taking up space. You know, with music genres, things, it runs in a circle. You know, I can sit back and think about songs from my childhood that I hear again, or styles that I see again. And it's kind of like, well, there's a whole generation that never heard that or saw that. But then subconsciously, yes, you did. You got to understand, even as a child, you still have the songs that your parents played when you were kids. And sometimes you can't realize that I heard that before, but you put your own spin to it, and it's a whole nother generation, and that's all well and good. I mean, one thing about music is music is universal, meaning that is one medium in our lives that can bring all people together, every race. You know, good music is good music. You know, I when I was playing in New York when I was younger, I used to play a lot of Latin music. Did not know a word, but the composition of it, the climax of it, and the sound of somebody who sounds like they can sing. It was just, it transcends time. You know, it's the thing is I would hope that when you guys create, that you're thinking that you are creating a soundtrack to somebody's life. You know, fans of people who connect to what you're going through. And if you haven't gone through anything, or you're not putting out a product of what you went through, then when will you ever get fans? Fans are for lifetime. You know, I try to drop seeds every now and then. Today being my birthday, I got folks who call me to come do gigs when I was 17, 18 years old. I'm 60 now, but they still hiring me because when I show up, of course, I'm up to date if I need to be. Where them fans at? All right. But I would take you back to a moment in your life. And that's it. You know, the fruit of your work is going to be 10 years, 20 years from now. Is it relevant? Put it like this. And I'm going to say this. Anybody could do 8 bars. And with the right engineer, you can sound, with the right hook, you'd be a bad motherfucker. But what if what you said doesn't mean shit? What story did it tell? Who did it make happy? Who did it hurt? Love and pain is memories. That's what I look for. You know, in conversation and listen to a couple tracks, I'm like, yo, that's something that's going to transcend something. That's something that's going to connect with somebody.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I'm just excited to see what's next.
Yeah, definitely. Always excited to see what's next, Khizzy Neutron. And it's a perfect segue into my next question. Part of what's next, really right now in terms of project. Because I've seen your catalog. You got quite the
Thank you.
So I would like to see what's going on in your mind in terms of what's next, what you got coming.
Man, like people always think I'm trolling when I say this. I was showing you, like, you've seen glimpses into my note section, and it's just like, I don't know if it's ADHD or what, but it's just like, there are so many creative avenues that have just been untapped still, like, and
Yeah.
and none of the ones that I'm working on are AI related. And just want to put that out there, like, I literally have 20 albums I'm working on right now.
20. And this man said none of them are AI related. It's all identity.
Right. Just me. It's like lo-fi project this month.
Okay.
And drill project next month. Yeah, I'm not playing, like. So yeah, this month dropping Intentionally Imperfect, the lo-fi album, and then next month Into the Wilderness, my drill album, and then that's all you get for right now. You have to wait until after summer to see what else I got, but I'm only getting started.
Okay.
Yeah, 30 albums. Yeah, I see you only getting started.
You said 20 albums.
Yeah.
20 albums. Okay.
That's just right now though. You know what I'm saying? That's all the ones that have been are being actively worked on. There are always more ideas.
So when it comes to, you getting into your zone, what's your process looking like?
My zone, like just for like what the.
Yeah.
Well, because I've kind of like fully rounded the ecosystem, I always start with a concept, whether it's, it's not just music. Sometimes people say, oh, my inspiration is this album or this artist, but like I take it from all forms, music, art, video games, books, conversations, pain, anguish, like just traveling, family members. It all culminates, you know. And then when it actually gets time to do something with the idea, because I'm not really a person that could just talk about nothing. That's also the reason why I don't really do singles. Everything has a full body of work, because I can't explain an entire roadmap of what I'm trying to get across in storytelling with one track. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
there's always more. It starts with, when you see the pipeline, it starts with the concept of the idea, and then I create the track first. I know John Legend has said this before. Like, even if you don't know what to say, the music will tell you.
Yep.
So idea, music, and then put pen to pad.
Man, love the process. So when it comes to you, you know, rapping and producing it, I wouldn't even say at the same time. Whenever you get to each process, which one do you kind of like more, if you have a favorite?
Man, that I feel like that's even tougher to say now, because I finally I'm starting to crack the code on Dolby Atmos and other stuff.
Yeah.
So when it comes to things like just cinematic level storytelling, or really kind of putting things in place, like even the engineering is starting to get exciting to me. If you're forcing my hand, I will say the production aspect, because it really kind of shows like where creativity truly lies, and from composition to like the sound design aspect. Just getting that initial sine wave tweaked, or layering those things that I wasn't originally thinking of, and
Right.
just kind of letting these serendipities and accidents happen. This is kind of where I can truly be unique. You can teach somebody how to rap and how to put a metaphor together. You know what I'm saying? How to make sure that you're not going over this red line. Make sure this is still mixed correctly, and do your gain staging. But when it comes to like just that sound design, like, okay, what made you? Why are you putting this piano with this monkey sound, or why are you whispering and then yelling on him like two lines apart from each other, and then turning that into another vocal instrument? It's just the sounds themselves, especially as we're leaning more towards like a noisy type of musical landscape. The sound selection and melody making, to me, at least like when I was first starting out as a producer and a beat maker, those two things are the hardest things to learn at first. Just kind of like knowing how to make melodies from scratch, and then like making it sound good. Because sound design is the reason why it's its own beast, and there's so much science and math behind it. Like you talk about Cartesian coordinate patterns and grids and things like that. It's like, yeah, like definitely producing, because all you do is hear it. Most people hear the beat most of the time anyway. They're not listening to the lyrics anymore, but you get that feeling. You might not even need words after that.
Right. Yeah, so we're starting to come up on our 30-minute mark for the stream. We can't get on here too long, but I do want to say this. This is the first episode of the Happy One Down podcast. We got so much more coming. We got DJ Sam The BodyMusic Man.
Yeah.
Sam 300, that's me. I'm co-hosting today. Co-hosting tonight. So I want to say this last part. Khizzy Neutron.
What's up?
If the Body Music Man.
I'm feeling generous today. I'll give you two. So the first one is deadlines or lifelines. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of value in immediacy. And also, don't be afraid to be different. It's often the cliche stuff that's the most impactful, and the things that we tend to ignore.
Facts. That's real.
That's dope. Well, it's DJ Sam The BodyMusic Man. It's going down from the morning show, transitioning over to How It Went Down, a podcast with Sam 300, the co-host, our special guest this evening. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be back many, many more times, because we're going to have the exclusives right here as it goes down. Putting your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank him for coming by and seeing him again. Let's give it up for Khizzy Neutron. Thank you. If the Body Music Man is not on your radio isn't really on. The Body